Hey everyone, I'm back with another cooking video. This time for pecan pie. We're going to start off with the pie crust. If you don't want to make homemade pie crust, then that's fine, just buy one from the store. But if you do, start off with a half cup of butter or one stick. Cut it up into 1 to a half-inch slices like so. Then get out, add 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, and once you've done that, you're gonna toss the butter around in the flour. And when I say toss, I don't mean just like throwing it, just like gently mixing it, sort of. Just coating, make sure the butter's coated in the flour. And as you're doing this, you can like cut it up some if you want, even more than just the slices. So once you've done that, you're gonna get out a fork, or if you have this, it's called a pastry blender, and as you can see, it has these 4 or 5, excuse me, metal strips to slice up the butter for the pastry, or in this case pie. So you're gonna just want to press it into the butter and just keep doing that, and the butter will get stuck some, so just press it out of there and just keep mashing it up. Now if you don't have a pastry blender, as I was saying, you can use a fork or anything that just has the mini like strips of metal, like a fork or any slats on it, then that'll work well. Or you can just use a knife, but that'll take a long time because it's only one like blades chopping it up. So you're going to want to continue doing that until there's very, very fine small pieces, like the size of a pea or less. So I'll get back to you once I'm done. Okay, so I'm back now, and as you can see, this is all broken up into very fine pieces. It's okay if it's not perfect, not all of them are as small as they could be, but it'll work itself out. Now, add in 1/3 cup of cold water to 1/2 cup. It depends on bringing your dough / crust together. And add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So then you're going to want to mix it together until it gets nice and combined. And now it's going to be, as you'll see here in a second, it's going to seem very dry, but as you work it and just smash it together, it comes together. So just keep smashing it until it forms a nice dough ball. Now, I want to mention as I'm doing this, the reason you want to use something like a fork or a pastry blender is you want the dough to be crispy, and breaking up the butter into really fine pieces instead of just like mixing it together and like creaming it with the flour and all that, and the water. It makes it for a crispy crust, which is what you want to aim for. And when I've always done this, the crust always comes out great, so it should work out good for you too. Now, as you're doing this, you want to heat the your oven up to 350, and after you've worked it in and you've made the dough up, then you're going to want to put it in the refrigerator so that it kind of hardens up a little, so the butter sets sort of again, so that it's easier to work with when you're rolling it out. So as you can see, the dough is coming together real nice, and if you think it seems like really sticky, then you could add a little more flour, but this is really an okay consistency, and it will be fine for the pie crust. So I'll be back once I have the next step. Okay, for the next step, we're getting to the actual parts of what's in the pie. So get out a stick of cream cheese, and you can let it set out ahead of time, or you can put it in the microwave till it's just soft. Then 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, 1 egg. Yes, and I'm cracking the egg during the video. Okay. And then 1/3 cup of sugar and 1/4 a teaspoon of salt. So once you put all those together, you're going to want to mix it up, and I'll be back once I've done that. Okay, I'm back. I've mixed up the cream cheese and the sugar and all that, and so it should look something like that. It might have like kind of a curdy look to it, if you like a chunky look, just a little, but it should be mostly mixed together if you did it right. So put that aside for now. Also, get out a cup to a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup, basically whatever fills your pan or pie tray when you're putting it together with nuts, and I'll explain more on that later. So get out another bowl. This time you're gonna want 1 1/4 cups of light corn syrup, also 1/4 cup of sugar, also 3 eggs, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So I'll just do the eggs now. And this is going to be what, how it's going to go is you're going to have your pie crust, obviously. Then you're going to have the cream cheese mixture we did. And then lastly, no, not lastly, the cream cheese mixture. Then your pecans until it fills pretty much to the top of the pan. Pretty much, not exactly. And then over the pecans, you're going to add this mixture, and it gives it a nice, like, sweet topping to the pie. So once I've mixed the vanilla and the eggs and the sugar and the corn syrup up, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Now we've made all the parts of the pie. Now it's just putting it together. So, get out the dough we made earlier from the refrigerator and put it on a floured surface. Now, make sure you also flour the top of your pie crust and your hands and roller. But if you have enough flour on the dough, then it'll rub off onto the roller itself too. So you're gonna want to roll it out till like 1/4 inch thick or thinner, depending on how thick you want your pie crust. Some people like thick pie crust and others thin. So it's all up to you on that. And you're gonna want to roll it out to a little, probably 1 inch bigger than the size of your pie. And these are just like approximate estimates of how much more than your pie. It's not exact, so you don't have to like measure out exactly 1 inch from it, just so that it's more than your pie, because when it lays in, it's gonna need more surface. So just keep rolling it out, and hope you're liking this video so far. And I want to mention, leave any ideas for a special, a subscriber special, because I would like your input on that. So relatively, this isn't super hard, it's just getting all the parts together. And then, so let's see, you can use whatever pie dish you'd like, but if it's a bigger one, then you're gonna need, you might have to make a double batch of the dough for the pie. And let's see if this is good. So it's about, yep, I think that's good. Okay, so I'll just roll it out a little more, and then it should be good. So I'll just finish up with that and put it in the pie shell, and then I'll be back with how to assemble it. Okay, I'm back. I've cleaned up the area, so we're all ready to go. So stir the beginning cream cheese mixture up, because it might have, make sure it's all good for the pie. So you're going to want to put that in the bottom of the pie pan first, or pie dish, or whatever you want to call it. So just smooth it out, make sure it's even all around the pie. That seems about good. So that's good. Now you're going to want to put in your nuts. Now, as you can see, that was a little over a cup of nuts, and that obviously didn't do it. So you're going to want to do as much that fills up your dish. So let me just put some more in. Okay. I'll be back once I've filled it up. Okay, so I've got all the nuts in there, and as you can see, you want them up to just the edge of the pie. So you want a relatively thick layer of pecans in the pie, because it is pecan pie. So let me mix up our egg mixture topping stuff, because once you let it set out, the sugar and other stuff settles to the bottom, and the caro syrup and stuff. So make sure you mix it up before you put it on top of the pecans. And just remember, it goes pie crust, obviously, then the cream cheese mixture, then a good thick layer of pecans, and then lastly the egg caro sugar mixture thing. So now you just want to pour that on top. And you may have more than you really need. You just want it to coat it. You don't want really globby. Just get it all along the edges. So just kind of. And this it looks real liquidy now, but it will harden out. As the pie cooks. So it should look like that once you're done, and then just put it in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes, and it should be good. Now you want to watch it, because if you let it go too long, then it will, the top will like bulge out, and then it'll crack in, so you want to watch that. But if you leave it too long, then, if you don't leave it long enough, then it'll be a little underdone. So make sure you watch it. And thanks for watching. Leave any comments, leave any ideas for subscriber special, and thank you for watching. Oh, I will be back with showing you what it looks like at the end.